Hi everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a tutorial or more of a guide on how I use embossing powder to simulate carpet for my interiors. This is a fairly quick and easy process, so I'm going to go ahead and get things turned around and show you how I do it. Okay everybody, welcome to the tutorial of embossing powder for carpet. Now, you have to have your canvas, your area that you want to put the embossing powder on. Next up, you're going to need your adhesive, which I use Mod Podge. This is like an ancient bottle. I've had it for 5 or 6 years. It's still half full. And I use it for other things like windshields and headlight lenses and stuff like that. So use it for a lot of things. I still have half a bottle. You can use regular Elmer's glue. It's probably the same stuff, but I have Mod Podge. I've got a little bit of water here that I'm going to mix with the Mod Podge. I have a little palette here, a paint palette, that I'm going to mix it in. Normally I just use a water bottle cap because I have a ton of these. I just save them for mixing little things, paints and stuff, but I'm going to try to keep it on a professional level and use the palette here. Need a brush to spread it on, mix it up and spread it on. Okay, and I use a dropper to put the water in to mix with the Mod Podge. Last but not least, you actually need the embossing powder. This is embossing powder that I use. I used to get it at Hobby Lobby, but they don't have it anymore, so pretty sure you can still get it on Amazon. I'll look for it and put a link in the description. Okay, I have black and white. That's all I need. Obviously, for black part carpet, which I use more of, I use black. But if I want blue carpet, brown carpet, gray carpet, whatever, I use the white. Put it on, and then you airbrush the interior color or whatever carpet color you want it, and it covers it super well. You just reduce the air pressure so you're not blowing the stuff all over the place. Even though it's going to be nice and dried on, you're still going to, if you use too much pressure, you're going to blow some of the stuff back off. Okay, so that's what you need. Let's get started. Okay, so you don't need a lot. Shake it up a little bit because you're not covering a big area. So just a few drops. I'll do 6 drops, probably more than I need. And then I just take the water, and just drop some water in. 6 drops of water. Even amount. 6 and 6, eh? Should be pretty easy to remember. And we're just going to mix it up. You just keep mixing it. Get it nice and blended together. And then you just apply it to where you want it. Fairly liberally. You don't want it just running all over the place, but you do want it wet. It'll dry pretty quickly. I got fans running in here because it's pretty warm, so it's going to dry a little bit faster than normal, like in the winter time when you don't have any fans running. But just quickly run it in, and you know where your seats go. If you don't want to bury the stuff in where your seats are and stuff like that, you don't have to. Okay, everything looks pretty wet there and all set. Now for the embossing powder, this isn't the bottle it comes in a different bottle. I put it in here for ease of, I have more control over what I use. Oh, and you want paper. I've just got an 8 by 11, 8.5 by 11 plain printing paper here to collect the excess. And you just slap it on there. Don't worry about using too much. I'll show you why in a minute, but just bury it on there, you know. And you let it set for a little bit, okay? You let it set, soak in, and dry. Give it like 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm back. I gave it a half an hour to dry. Gave it like a half an hour. I did some things in between, you know, wire my distributor, stuff like that. So, not lost time at all. Okay, so it's dried. Now what you do is you want to tap out the extra. Just give it a tap. Not hard, just enough, and all the extra loose stuff will fall off. Coverage looks pretty good. Obviously, ahead of time, you tape off where you don't want the stuff to go. Missed a little bit right there, but I don't think it's going to be noticeable because that's actually where the console goes. Okay, so it looks pretty good. You can leave it like that. I personally am going to spray on some matte clear. So I'll do that in a little bit, and then I'll come back and show you what that final result's going to look like. In the meantime, cleanup time. Pretty easy. I've got this little spice openings, whatever, on mine. Just pop that off. This is why you use paper. All the excess is completely reusable. And I just take it, fold it over, and distribute it right back into the bottle, jar, whatever. So realistically, you're not using a whole heck of a lot of this stuff. Like I said, I've done probably 20 interiors with this, and I've only used not even half of what I had. So that's the easy cleanup, and just swipe the rest of it off. You can reuse the paper, or you get a different paper every time. Doesn't matter. Paper's pretty cheap. I usually reuse it. Swipe it off. I just set it aside. I will come back and show you what it looks like with the matte clear on it. Okay, so now we're at the interior assembly. So just a quick tip. When you have things you have to glue in after your embossing powder, like the console and the seats, I'll show you. Usually what I do is I line up where they go, and I rub it just a little bit so I can see where the contact points are going to be. And then I just take a toothpick and I just scrape away. You can see here, I just scrape away the embossing powder where I'm going to glue it. And then back here behind this little plastic piece there. So that's where the glue's going to go. Same thing with the seats. You line up where the seats go, and you just scratch where the glue is going to contact with the seats, because it's not going to stick to the embossing powder that way. So you just scrape it away. So just a little tip for that one. Okay, I will move in here and show you what the carpet looks like with the interior mostly assembled before I put the dashboard in, and you really can't see a whole heck of a lot more of it at all. So that is what the carpet looks like. You get a little view of the back part. from the side. Try to get the light in there a little bit. Sorry. Okay. So that is how I use embossing powder to simulate carpet. Now, a lot of you want to say, man, that's a lot of effort or whatnot for something that's hardly ever going to be seen or not even to be seen. But you know what? You know it's there. And what little bit will be seen when everything's built is still going to look pretty cool. And that's pretty much all the reason you need, because you know it's there and it looks good to you. All right, so that's it. I want to thank everybody for watching Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop, and I'll catch you next time.